The acrimonious split between 90 Day Fiancé couple Angela Deem and Michael Ilesanmi continues to play out in Georgia court. As Starcasm was the first to report, Angela filed for an annulment in June of 2024. After the Starcasm article about the annulment filing was posted on August 7, 2024, Michael launched a GoFundMe to raise money for a lawyer to fight the case. The GoFundMe exploded thanks to donations from sympathetic 90 Day Fiancé viewers. The goal of $50,000 was reached within a matter of days. Michael's newly hired lawyer filed an answer and counterclaim on August 21st. Michael asked for a divorce and alleged Angela was guilty of cruel treatment as well as physical and mental abuse that has occurred both privately and publicly. More than 9 months later, Michael's attorney has filed a motion to dismiss Angela's complaint for annulment. The filing also requests that Angela be responsible for Michael's attorney's fees. Michael's motion to dismiss presents a very strong argument for Michael and Angela's marriage not qualifying for an annulment. From the motion, quote, "In the state of Georgia, a valid marriage requires 3 elements. Number 1, the parties must be able to enter a contract. Number 2, there must have been an actual contract. And number 3, there must have been consummation of the marriage according to the law," unquote. Michael's attorney argues that all 3 elements of a valid marriage were met, and also argues that Angela herself has admitted that all 3 elements of a valid marriage were met. I'll now read a long excerpt from the motion's conclusion. The respondent, Michael, shows that the petitioner, Angela, brought this action in bad faith. She has always known that the parties had a true and valid marriage. She has admitted that in television appearances, on YouTube, in her complaint for annulment, see paragraph 3, and in her responses to respondents' requests for admissions. She thought she could get over on the courts and get back at respondent for leaving her with the complaint in this case because her effort at service of process was intended to be by publication, and she thought her husband would not find out until she could publicly shame him with an annulment order. She had no idea that he would beat her to the punch and acknowledge service before she could even have her very first publication run. In this case, the petitioner's entire claim for annulment contained a complete absence of justiciable issue of law, such that there is no way this court could have possibly accepted the position that the parties' marriage was invalid. The marriage was far too long and had already been adjudicated as valid by the federal government, which is certainly compelling enough to ensure that no state court could or should ever question the legitimacy of the parties' marriage. At one point in the filing, Michael's attorney turns Angela's infamous pride and self-aggrandizing against her. Quote, "Furthermore, the petitioner constantly proclaims that she is a very bright woman, and certainly she is. She would have never been duped into marrying someone she did not want to be married to, especially when she was making so much money off of the television exposure that their union produced," unquote. Sarah Fraser broke the news last month that Angela Deem allegedly used a taser on Michael Ilesanmi during a heated argument in California in January of last year. The motion to dismiss references the alleged taser incident multiple times and provides more details about what happened leading up to the incident. Here's another long excerpt from the filing. There are many incidents of physical abuse. However, an extreme example of the petitioner's desire to physically harm and abuse the respondent occurred in January 2024 when the parties visited Los Angeles for an appointment with the petitioner's dentist. On that trip, the parties were staying in a hotel near the location of petitioner's dental office. On an evening during the trip, petitioner and respondent were out partying in West Hollywood, and as they began back to the hotel, an argument ensued wherein the respondent was kicked out of the car by the petitioner. Respondent was forced to walk 3 hours to get back to the hotel. That same evening, the petitioner used a taser on the respondent's shoulder as the argument continued once the respondent arrived in the hotel room. All of these incidents lead the respondent to feel that he needed to escape the abuse and control of the petitioner. Ultimately, the respondent had to leave the residence in February 2024, and he did not tell petitioner where he was going for fear that she would follow him and retaliate against him for leaving. Respondent went to live in Texas with a friend. Michael's motion to dismiss includes a lot of behind-the-scene details on the reality television couple's relationship over the years, including the fact that he sent Angela more than $200,000 between 2018 and 2023. Quote, "Between May 24, 2018 and December 2023, respondent Michael wired petitioner Angela over $235,415 to help her when she asked," the motion states. Quote, "Respondent was told by petitioner that she was putting the money into an account so that they could have money until petitioner could get a driver's license and a job. Petitioner requested 95% of petitioner's earnings from the show," unquote. As part of the court proceedings, Angela was required to admit or deny a long list of facts. One of the facts she admitted to was Michael sending her more than $200,000 between 2018 and 2023. However, Angela denied using a taser on Michael during the January 2024 incident in California. We've highlighted more of Angela's admissions and denials in one article, and her claims that many of the scenes featuring herself and Michael were scripted in another. I'll include those links in the description.